Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we'll be talking about the tier 10 French premium destroyer, the Marceau. And first of all, I got this thing from the sonar sweep here, which is gone in a few days I believe, or gone tomorrow, I don't remember, but it's gone, in 2 days, yeah. So, the total cost for this is 31k, but since I already had this camo here, then it brought it down to 18k, 18.8k. So for TLDR, whether I think it's worth it or not, if you already have the camo for 18.8k, I think this is a pretty good deal, because Marceau, like, from my game so far, it's really fun, and it's a good ship. But if you don't have the camo, it'll cost you 31k, which I think is kind of really expensive. So if you have the camo, I suggest you get it, or I would consider getting it. If you don't have the camo, then I wouldn't bother unless you want to whale for it. But let's go over this thing first of all. So you get 5 engine accelerator 4s, which means you increase speed and turning speed by 20% for 25 seconds. And you get 4 ADA 2s, which are just there. I don't know, I haven't really tested the AA, but it's not that good. For battle honors here, you have play 10 battles, the standard, and you've destroyed 2 enemy destroyers in a battle, so standard stuff. So let's go over the stats of the Marceau. You get 21k HP, which is pretty healthy for a destroyer, with standard reduction, not very good for a destroyer. Your max speed is at 47 knots with my current build, which is the speed build. So that's like really fast, and it gets up to around like 56, 58 knots with your engine accelerator here. So that's really good. Your propulsion is at 9 seconds, which is okay. Considering how fast you move, 9 seconds is a pretty good acceleration for this. And your turning speed is at 9 degrees at 5 seconds, so that's okay for a destroyer, but you mainly have good acceleration and speed rather than your turning. But the turning is obviously not as bad as something like the Kaba. Speed is going to be your main thing for dodging though. So for your guns, you have 8 127s with a 3.14 second reload for my build, which I ran reload mod, with a just under 9 km range, and your AP and HE do similar damage honestly, and your HE has a 2.4% fire chance, so it's not that high of fire chance, but it's workable. Yeah, your AP and HE like barely do have a difference in damage. That's crazy. Okay, you have 40-degree turret traverse, so you don't have to worry about that. Your torpedoes, you get 12, but they're side mounted, so this means you have 6 on your right side, 6 on your left side. Their spread is relatively wide, I believe, but they have a 40-second reload, so they reload really quick, and they do 3.7k damage, so they're okay damage. So there's useful to check out there, you know. And they have 8.7 km range. Your AA is okay, just over 100 for both values. With ADA 2, this gets up to around like 300 and like 240. So pretty mid honestly. Like you're going to drop maybe 1 or 2 points of ADA, so I don't really recommend building to AA. And your concealment is actually relatively good at 6.6 km. So the Marceau here is a gunboat. With your 8 guns, you basically have pretty good DPM with 3-second reload. So this ship is a gunboat because your torpedoes don't do that much damage overall, but you just have a lot of them. So you want to use your speed to. Okay, so the first thing is I only barely not played this ship that much. Like I ran like 4 games, so this is my like initial reaction to it, I guess. But this thing you can get is really fast. So your primary role is to flank. Whether you find a destroyer on the flank, you outflank an enemy destroyer, or it gives you time to spot cruisers and decide your next move. Flanking is very beneficial for this ship, rather than just rushing straight into a cap, because you have no smoke or any really defensive measures. Since you have 5 engine styles, you can basically just kind of like spam them to like change positions, give enemies a hard time to hit you, stuff like that. So how I like to play Marceau is I like to flank around, and then if I see a destroyer and there's no other threats nearby, then I start opening up trying to get rid of them. Otherwise, I bide my time, since I can usually flank pretty far out because of how fast this ship is, and you just spam some turrets from range until I know that the enemies are distracted, then I can start shooting at them. So yeah, that's how I would play the Marceau. If you have any tips on how to play this thing, just let me know, because I'm still relatively new to this ship. So let's go over the build now. So I went for the full speed build. So I took advanced engine here for max speed and acceleration. Even if you don't go speed build, you should still take this one, because the main thing for elite gun offer is minus 3% reload, but advanced engine gives you acceleration, which is really good. 10%, which is like basically a propulsion mod, and more speed, of course. For a camo here, I have the special French camo here, so that gives HP, max reverse speed, firing range, and surge detection. Compared to the H camo here, the only really difference is, let me check. You also get battery. This one gives you torpedo range compared to the HP. So honestly, I would say the H camo is probably better, but since I already have this special camo, I'm not gonna bother with the H camo because it's just not worth spending that much gold for it. So for Nyx, for supplies here, standard, conceal. You want high grade code, improved progression, find diesel, equipment. I ran reload here because your turret versus rate really good. So this is basically your only option. You definitely want propulsion because, well, yeah, acceleration is really useful for dodging and stuff. And for third slot, you could either run concealment, which would probably bump your concealment down to, let me check. There's 6.6 right now, so that's like around 0.6 down. So you get just above 6km concealment if you run concealment mod. Or you can run speed mod, which is what I did because speed is funny and I love going fast. And might as well, right? Because max out the speed. For commander here, there's two options. You could either run your Kleber commander, or you can run your just a dedicated commander first line. Because as you can see, this thing does not rapid reload well compared to Kleber here. The main thing for Kleber is you have rapid reload, so you definitely want to spec into that if you're sharing commander. So I do plan to get a Kleber, so I will spec this commander for it. But let me just go through each skill and tell you which are different for each line. So emergency response is the same for both lines. Torpedo alert, same. Preheating will be the same. This one you could either take ADA if you really think that Marceau's A is worth it, but I don't. And also I want to run this on Kleber, so I'd rather go with Victorious Charge. Tier 5, if it's just Marceau, go with Daredevil. But since I want Kleber, I'm going with Fire Supremacy. Tier 6, you can either go with Exploit Weakness or Generalist. Probably Generalist because Exploit Weakness is pretty bad. And also this thing is 2.4% fire chance, so it's not that good. Number 7, you go fully prepared. 8, you definitely want Adrenaline Rush. Since I have this epic commander here, I have AR plus, which is like better, so that's nice. But AR is very useful in the Kleber and this Marceau. Engine overload is definitely something you want because you'll be spamming those engine boosts. So getting them quicker, making them more useful or more effective is always better. Since I have this epic commander, I can also get engine overload plus, which is nice. For level 10 skill, you want Master Reloader if you are going Kleber. Otherwise, take Honor Seeker for Marceau. APC as always because more pen, good. 12, you probably want Giant Hunter. For your extra commander talents from 13 to 15, there's either two ways you can run. Number 1 is you want spec in a gun, so you go probably Greased Gears. You probably go Specialist if you're going Kleber, just get extra rapid reload. But Marceau's skills aren't that useful, so you can honestly go like Precise Strike or something if you really want to, but it doesn't really matter. And then probably Active Reload because this is a generally overall good skill. Or you can spec into the Red Tree, which is more like torpedo focused because Marceau compared to Kleber does have longer torpedo range, which means they're more usable. You can either go Hide and Seek, but like honestly I think Concealment is not that worth it. It's only 3%, so I'd rather go Speed Search because more speed is always better. For tier 15, Fire Flood 7 times. Yeah, that's not happening. Probably Readiness then, because you can hit a good amount of torpedoes in this thing. But yeah, so if you want to use, so I would mainly go with Red Tree for Speed Search and Green Tree if you want Active Reload. So that's up to you. So yeah, that's the Marceau. That's my builds for it. And as I said earlier, any tips you have for me, let me know down below, because I just got this thing, so I'm excited to play more games in it. But from what I've played so far, the main thing is compared to Kleber, you're more of sustained damage, where Kleber is burst damage. So while you can't like solo like dedicated combos like Bazan and probably like Regolo, all that stuff, you can still like go toe to toe with most other. You can still go toe to toe with most destroyers, and especially with your speed, that can help you dodge. Like there was a small shooting at me one time, but I just like turned out a bit and he missed, and then I just started running away and he could not lead enough to hit me. So your speed is definitely your greatest advantage in this ship. So you want to fully use it. So like flanking around, relocating flanks, all that stuff, something you're very good at. What I like to do, like I said earlier, is flank around really hard so I can detect the enemies before they spot me. Either slam up their enemy destroyer or wait until I spot like cruisers or battleships and go after them. And yeah, just use your speed to your advantage and go around and be a nuisance. So yeah, that's enough yapping from me. Let's get into the one game I have recorded because the other games weren't that good. Like, let me check my average right now actually. Yeah, I have 100% win rate for some reason. Oh, 71k average, that's pretty good. But I had a 60k game, a 50k, and a 38k I think, because there was no damage those games. But the one I'm going to show you guys is almost 130k, so that was my best game by far. So yeah, let's move into the game now. Okay guys, so in the first game, or the only game here, we're up against Black Monty, Musashi, Revive 2015, which Prince Von Orania, Castilla, Kleber, Howland, and a bot, Shima, I think. And on my team, I'm paired up with my fleet mate, who's in the Z42. So, main thing to look out for here is like the Kleber, because, you know, that guy's kind of scary. But otherwise, the other destroyers are okay. So, I was talking to my fleet mate, considering going on the same flank as him, to just like clap that flank. But since Shima's already going that way, then I guess it's a cap B here, so I'm going to use my engine cell to start making myself go fast. I think I'd preheating at this point, so I'm going to get 59.6 knots, so that's about the max speed you can go in this thing. And once I get into the cap, so basically once I cap this thing, I'm just fine to go far to the right, yeah. Because I don't want to rush head first into enemies, because I do not have smoke or anything to defend myself with. So I'm just going to launch some torpedoes in this gap, because that's usually where enemies come through. And since they reload in my torpedoes reload in 40 seconds, I can just spam them out basically. So I actually haven't looked at the Kleber's AP damage versus AP until like I did the earlier recording. So like AP is honestly pretty similar, it's just more patented than AP, but AP is chance of lighting fire. So it doesn't really matter which one you use honestly. But I still like using AP just for the principle of it. Or it still does better pen, so. But at this point I still have AP loaded because I'm not sure where the destroyer is. And there they are spotted in the center. But I actually didn't notice this, they're going to be cap, so I wasn't sure. That's why I still have AP loaded. But now I see I'm not spotted, I just load AP. And this Castilla's, I'm particularly going to do a full turn, so that's why I'm launching torpedoes so far ahead. But we'll see, because I don't think because these torpedoes aren't the fastest, so I don't think I actually launched that far enough ahead. And as you can see, even though this is a narrow spread, and they're positive 3, they're actually not that narrow. Like they do go quite wide, so these torpedoes is better for like spamming rather than actually being precise. But even though it's been 2 minutes, I still haven't opened up yet. I just decided to bide my time because, well, I don't want to open up against Castilla. Because since Marceau's a pretty chunky ship, you can't actually eat a lot of full pens from these heavy cruisers. So I'm just considering launching, but this guy's running away, so I'm just gonna head back center. There's actually a Musashi in center, which is pushing in, which is perfect. And I think it's at this point that I noticed that beat cap like that. So honestly, you see how they launched those torpedoes there? It was just in case the Castilla turned back in, but that was kind of a waste because I could have used it in this situation here right now. So since I'm so close to Howard, I might as well start opening up. And you see this thing does, you have 8 guns 3 seconds ago, so you do good damage to other destroyers. But also Musashi's close enough where I can just start using AP to farm him rather than using HG. And since I launched torpedoes on this side earlier, they're not ready yet, or I still have like 10 seconds. So at this point I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna use the other side and just try to rush this guy basically. So since the guy's slowing down, I need to turn a bit further so I can get my torpedoes off. And rather than turning back around to get the other side torpedoes doing a full rush, I decided to completely turn around because Hound is still back there, so I don't want to accidentally rush into them and get torpedoed. But since Hound is really low, I might as well help finish them off. There's a flood on Musashi by the way, and the damage comes, so now I know how to get permafied. They're going forward now, so I'm going to launch the torpedoes forward. And Hound is almost dead, so he's turning, so I might as well aim and get this guy out of here. Got him. And yeah, I'm still close enough to AP at this point, but since this guy did flood out, I switched to HE just for the permafires. And looking back, this was a good idea because, well, the HE honestly doesn't around the same damage to AP. But I should have aimed for bow, honestly, to get maximized damage. But I do get a fire here. And I also got permaflush from the torpedoes, so this Musashi is good as dead. Just farming him up for now. But yeah, as you can see, I already have 11 torpedo hits, so it's a very can rack like, good amount of torpedo hits. So that's why I would consider taking torpedoes to go in this thing, but yeah. But as you can see, the Castilla hit me a bit, and I'm already down to 12k. So the Castilla, even though it does have big guns, Marceau is a pretty chunky, like, well-armored destroyer. So it does eat, like, full pens a lot, which means heavy cruisers can't slap you around. So right now, we have 2 caps, my fleet mate's getting B back, so we're about to be up 3, and they only have 1. And since Castilla, nobody else is flooded, well, my fleet mate is, but I'm just gonna stay dark for now, until, yeah. I think my fleet is actually getting, like, clapped by Castilla. So I'm just gonna launch against the indicator, see where these torpedoes go, but if I remember correctly, Castillo just slows down. But my fleet did torpedo this guy, so he does. We're trying to finish him off at this point. And since Castillo's not looking at me, I'm just like freely farming out here. Yeah, I hit like 2 torpedoes here. So I think we can finish this guy off. But as you see, my fleet mate's right down at half health. He's getting pretty low. Yeah, but he got the kill on it. And so what's left of this game is 2v2. It's just me and my fleet mate, and this Black Montana and the Revive 2059, which is the Prince Braun Random code. So at this point, I'm just like, I have 15k HP, we ball. I'm just gonna rush him because, well, technically we're ahead on points, so we can both just run away. But you know, when there's damage on the table, I gotta get it, you know. And I switched to AP because I didn't know. Like I said again, I didn't really realize that it did similar damage as HE, but you know, might as well since it's more pen. Yeah, look at those nice full pens. That's nice. So I launched our views here. Honestly, since this guy's going forward, I could have like waited a bit longer to actually hit all of them, but I still hit like 3 of them. 3 out of 5, 6, so that's okay. And I took out steering, which means I'm pretty damage controlled here. And I honestly should have gone around and wait until using these torpedoes because this guy can just turn and dodge these torpedoes. But luckily, this guy like stays in a relatively straight line, so I do hit some of these later on. But at this point, he's shooting at my fleet mate because they're lower health than me, and I'm trying to kill them, and they're firing HE. Which means their guns are pointing the other direction, which means I can just farm them from behind. So yeah, that's what I'm just doing at this point. Yeah, as you can see, they can really easily dodge those torpedoes. But luckily, I knock out the steering, so that's cool. And yeah, I'm just farming their stern. As you can see, they're doing a lot of damage. So yeah, Marceau has quite good consistent damage, so his DPM actually ends up being quite good. As you can see, that's HE from the Prince Brand or the Revive 2059. Really class my fleet mate, so yeah, this guy's dangerous. Luckily, he's at really low health, which is that I can just open out and try to finish this guy off because even if my fleet mate dies, we're still ahead on points. And yeah, we're still ahead on points at this point, so might as well just kill this guy to secure the kill, secure the win. Yeah. So yeah, that's the Marceau. This is my best game so far. 129k. I got last hope. Very cool. So what I think about it is, so far, this is a very fun ship in my opinion because it's fast and I like fast ships. And yeah, there's my MVP, 3 kills. And yeah, I like the sustained DPM where you can constantly do damage. I think I also have fun in Colbert where it's more burst damage at least. But as you can see, 49k torpedo damage, so this thing is quite torpedo focused. Or not torpedo focused. It is good guns and good torpedoes. Compared to Colbert, which is kind of lacking torpedo range. Colbert doesn't really have torpedo range. While the Marceau here has much better torpedo range. I think more than 2k more. So this is more like a hybrid, right? It uses both its guns and its torpedoes. But the only thing to be careful about is that you don't really have smoke, so you have to use the speed to your advantage. But yeah, overall as the Marceau, I think this is a really good pick for me because I'm having so much fun in it right now, so hopefully I can keep doing well in the future. And yeah, if you guys have any tips for this on the ship, let me know down below. But otherwise, this is a shorter video because I don't really have any games in the ship, so that's why there's only 1 game. And yeah, that's enough for me. Thank you guys for watching and have a wonderful rest of your day.